welcome to your reality recaps Survivor recap here. I am Dancing Amy, and I am here to give you a little rundown on the premiere episode of Survivor, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. And then we're gonna see if anybody wants to guest in and chat with me about their feelings on the episode. But this episode, as well as our Survivor blogs and other things, are going to be up on our website at yourrealityrecaps.com/survivor starting tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you check out all of our Survivor coverage there. Also, you can always support everything that we do, including all of our Big Brother 19 coverage. We're still going to have all of the jury members on for interviews. By becoming a patron, or you can, help support our other shows we're going to be doing. We have lots of other fun things coming up as well. But you can become a patron at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. That's, you get access to our patron-only Facebook group where you get patron-only shows every week, as well as prize giveaways just for patrons. And this season, after shows, just for patrons as well. You can also do one-time only donations at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal. So we just had the premiere episode of Survivor. I'm just going to call it HHH. And that was last night, giving everybody plenty of time to catch up in case you weren't able to watch it live. I thought overall, it was a good show, a good premiere. It was a little cramped. I would prefer a 90-minute episode to a 2-hour episode. I love 2-hour ones, but everything's not, the greatest. But, 90 minutes is best, I think. Yes, Destiny says it was too short. I do agree. But they had to work with what they had to work with, and we had an hour episode where we got a lot of information that just was kind of thrown at us. So we're going to kind of unpack some of it here and fill in some things for people who maybe didn't see some preseason coverage from other places, and see if we can kind of fill in some gaps a little bit, because there was actually a lot of stuff that was just kind of thrown out, and talk through it a little bit. Rod Carson says, I won't know their names for a few weeks. I do agree. It is very hard to learn their names. I listened to a lot of preseason interviews, so I know of them, but knowing them on screen is a whole different story. So I know their stories and their background, but knowing who they are when they're talking, it's gonna take me a little while to catch on, so bear with me here. But yeah, so at the beginning of the episode, we met the tribes. So we have, let's see if this will work. We have the 3 tribes. Our first tribe, let's see if this will work on you now here. The Heroes tribe. Yeah! All right. So we have Ben, Chrissy, Alan, Ashley, JP, and Katrina. And I think that's long enough. So of the people there on the Heroes tribe, I can always reference back to them for you guys. But basically, the Heroes tribe is just people that in their everyday life, other people identify them as heroes of some shape or form. Some of it is a little bit of a stretch. And a little bit contrived, but hey, the one thing that I will kind of say that I like with all of these is that Jeff isn't really pushing the theme as much as he did with Millennials versus Gen X, so I don't hate it just yet. Also, with the, let's see, now with our next tribe, we have the Hustlers tribe. And then the Hustlers tribe, we have Devin, Lauren, Patrick, Ryan, Allie, and Simone. And they are people who hustle. They work hard. They don't get things handed to them. Sure. We'll just go with it. They're kind of going to be, I think, our train wreck tribe. eh. Yeah. Yes. Meg Foley says, I couldn't help but laugh at how long it took them to get to the beach. Absolutely, I do agree with that. Why does the skinny guy in the front look so familiar? That's Ryan. The skinny guy in the front is Ryan the bellhop. He's the one who won the secret advantage, or found the secret advantage. And then we'll go on to my personal favorite tribe, who I think is kind of, I liked them just from all their preseason stuff, the Healers tribe. And they are Joe, Cole, Mike, Jessica, Desi, and Rourke. And they are people, again, some of them don't quite fit the theme, but all right. Yeah, there's, I agree, Max's mom. Don't like the parole officer. He's not quite a healer, but it is what it is. And yes, Seppi in the chat room says Cole is hot. He is definitely our hottie of the season. I think everybody can agree on that one. For sure. I like how for his picture, he was shirtless. Thank you. Thank you, CBS. We appreciate that. And he's shirtless in most of the scenes. Destiny's prefers Devin. Really? All right. That's okay. So after we meet all the teams, just briefly, they do the marooning, everybody jumps off the boat, they're getting all the crap and blah, blah, blah. Devin was on the Hustlers tribe. He's the one with long brown hair. He teams up with Ryan later in the episode. But Ryan gets his secret advantage, and then they have to race to the beach to light a fire to get a fire advantage. Hustlers get lost. And as Jeff kind of states, the Hustlers are still trying to figure out what show they're on. That's kind of, I think, how this entire season is going to go for the Hustlers tribe. They are kind of a mess. Yeah. STK88 says kind of ironic. I agree. The Hustlers don't have much hustle when it comes to challenges or anything, really. I don't know. They're not very good at coordinating with each other. I think maybe it's just because they're kind of independent people. Possibly. I don't know. As Jory said, did anybody else notice that hardly anyone put anything in their boat? Yes, that is actually something I was going to mention, is that they were like throwing stuff off the thing, but they left a lot on the boats. They just, normally with the marooning, they like take things, like they pretty much strip the boat, but they didn't this time. But I guess that was, they were trying to get the fire advantage. I don't necessarily know why, because anybody who's watched any Survivor knows that within like a tribal council or two, you're gonna get fire anyways. So I don't know. I think it's worth it to take that extra time. Might as well take your time to get supplies, to get set up, and just make sure, and you know, as long as somebody knows how to get make fire. Most of those people bragged in all of their preseason stuff how they can make fire. Yeah, they should have been able to to take more time. But, you know, they got the adrenaline going, whatever. So, yeah. So the healers get the huge fire making kit. Heroes get flint, and hustlers get nothing. And then we get a nice little tour of all of the beaches. Of all the beaches, I have to say the Healer Beach is super gorgeous. I don't know. I love Fiji. I just love Fiji in general. I think that all of the times that they've been there, am I kind of alone on this? Like, I know people are kind of sick of it because they keep going back, but every time they go, I love it. I think that I really don't have any problems with them staying in Fiji at all. Yeah, Crystal B says Jeff wants to stay there permanently. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, when you think of Survivor, that's like the scenes that I think of. Lisa D. Ginger Snap says, I'd want a cave. Is there a cave? I don't know if there's a cave necessarily on any of those beaches. I would imagine at some beach there probably is. There's a lot of islands in Fiji, so they got a lot of places they can go. And I don't know. I would imagine there's lots of places, and they're all very scenic, so. And Max's mom says, and Jeff on top of that rock? How long did it take him to climb that? I imagine he probably got up there with a helicopter. I don't think he climbed it at all. And so now one thing that I would like to kind of tell you guys about, in case you didn't know, getting into the tribes a little bit more, because it wasn't made apparent on the episode, is now on the Heroes tribe, so the Blue tribe, Heroes tribe, JP and Ashley actually know each other. That came out in all the preseason interviews and stuff. They went to college together. They haven't spoken in like 3 years until they both showed up to go play Survivor. They didn't know that they were going to be on the show together. They weren't in any of the any of their final interviews together. I think I had heard that JP had actually auditioned to go on Amazing Race. So his finals experience may have been completely different. But that's why on day one, they linked up so quick. Yes. So that is kind of a big piece missing from the episode. But yeah. And so it makes a lot of sense that Alan kind of noticed. I don't think that they have told anybody. I don't think that they've told anybody, because in like their preseason interviews, they weren't really sure what they were going to do, because honestly, it would put a huge target on your back to come in with basically a pre-existing alliance on an all-new person season. So yeah, Zulina says Alan did smoke it out. Crystal B says that's why he's got the crazy eyes. He senses it. Yeah, pretty much. I'm amazed that Alan figured it out that quickly, but granted, we only saw like 3 minutes of their interaction, so they really could have just been like super close. And yeah, we'll get to the Super Idol talk. We'll get there. And so yeah, with the whole Alan versus JP and Ashley, yeah, no, so it wasn't just because he was paranoid. Alan says he knows he looks like he is crazy, but there actually is a really good reason for it. For that, you know, the whole strip search and everything. I think that, yeah. Saint K88 says you don't see Russell Hantz in Alan. I don't know if I necessarily see that. I mean, he is an aggressive player. I absolutely will say that for sure. Yeah, maybe. I can maybe see a little bit of Russell Hantz. I see, yeah. He's definitely an in-your-face player, as Fish Tank CEO says. But yeah, it's definitely coming out. I do agree. I think that it's just, yeah, I think it's just something that we'll have to keep an eye on him to see how it kind of evolves. To see how he kind of plays, to see if he really is like Russell Hantz or if he's something a little bit different. Because he wants to be a player. His whole thing going in is that you've never seen a player like me, and he wants to be something completely unique. So that's his whole idea. Yeah. Annie says, would it benefit Alan to keep it to himself or to use it to his advantage? I don't think Alan really knows for sure that they have a relationship. I think that he just suspects that there's something different about them. Because with, like, on Survivor, people are really afraid of like actual like relationships. It's, for some reason, whenever people are talking about like couples and pairs, especially super early in the season, it's always, we need to break that up. Like very, very early in the season, nobody wants to be seen as a couple ever. And so I think that that's kind of what he's sensing and and where his paranoia is coming from. That's kind of my thought of it. I don't really think he knows anything for sure. But again, I mean, we're only seeing like 42 minutes of 3 days of footage. And off of only one beach. We're only seeing like 7 minutes maybe total. Not even, because yeah, so we're missing a lot. We're missing a lot. Yes, he did admit to creating paranoia. Saint K88 says, how many seasons have we seen players do this to the couples? We have, I mean, it is pretty common that people do like to create paranoia, and that is kind of what they're, I think it's kind of more common in Big Brother than Survivor. Um, but honestly, with like with targeting couples, I think it's pretty common early in the season, unless it's a straight up like couple season, like Blood versus Water, um, or a returning players season where people are going to be coming in with pre-existing alliances. But in all new player season, there is no reason for there to be any couples or pairs day 1 or 2 at all. Like, there's no reason. There shouldn't be anybody. You should all not know each other, and it should all be fresh. So if you're seeing people like instantly connect, that would send my my spidey senses tingling very quickly. And I would be like, okay, we need to either A, break that up, or B, we need to hold on to that real quick. And use that until we can break it up. But even just the last newbie season, with the last newbie season, Millennials versus Gen X, there was the very first boot was because of a couple, or they thought that it was because of a couple. It's pretty common that people are kicked off because they're thinking that they're part of a couple. So, or a pair, not necessarily a couple or a romantic couple, just a pair of some sort. But also, one other thing about the Heroes tribe that I wanted to discuss is I think that we're getting kind of a false narrative, that I don't necessarily think that that Katrina was too aligned with Chrissy. We only saw one real scene of Chrissy and Katrina talking to each other together. And we saw the one real scene of the core four, of JP, Ashley, Ben, and Alan. And then we had Ben saying how, it's us versus the mom squad. And then it was Ben saying that, Alan and I are going to get to choose which people we're going with. But it sounds like I think Ben has a very false read on that whole thing. Or I think Ben kind of has a little bit of an inflated sense of what role he plays on that tribe, maybe. I'll be interested to see what happens next week with that tribe. Yeah, I didn't get the sense at all. Like, I went back and rewatched it, and they weren't in an alliance at all, because when the votes came out, Chrissy voted for Katrina to go, which is why she didn't use the super idol. So I think that overall, yeah, I just don't think I think that honestly, the whole story that was just completely made up. There was no mom squad. And Annie says if they were that close, she would have used the idol to save her, and she didn't. I agree completely. I don't think they were close at all. And because, yeah, otherwise she would have saved her, and then she could have used the idol, and they could have gotten out JP or Ben or something. However, there is actually a really good reason, at first I was kind of like, okay, well then why did they waste all this time showing us the whole Super Idol thing if they weren't going to use it? The reason is because Chrissy can still hold on to this Super Idol, and she now has a really great fake idol, and nobody knows it's a fake idol. It actually is a real idol, and the only person who knows that it is fake is the person who gave it to her. Granted, she has no idea who gave it to her, but oh my goodness, that is an awesome tool to have. And she can use it pretty much whenever she wants. Granted, she's got to use it correctly. Fake idols can be used wrong a lot. More often than not, they're used wrong. But yeah, it will be an interesting kind of twist, and I don't think that they necessarily saw it playing out that way when they put it in the game. I think they expected it to be used and that it would automatically be a big firework first episode. But yes, Devin does know about it as well. But she has no idea where it came from at all. She has no idea that anybody else knows about it. So if there's a tribe swap, she could be in trouble. But it could go wonderfully. Either way, it could be amazing. So I'm kind of excited now that she didn't use it. At first I was kind of disappointed just because I am a fan of the firework things, but I don't think it's going to help her either, Zulina. But I do think that it's going to make some interesting TV. And I'm all about the good TV and the drama. I absolutely do like it. I like the strategy. I think it's fun to sit there and think about the what ifs, but when it really comes down to it, I really do like the drama. So it'll be interesting. But the one thing that I do like that, or I guess I hope that we're going to get some more idols this season that have an expiration date on it like this, or a short timer on it, because I don't want another season, another thing like last season, where people just held on to their idols all season and then had to play them at the final, what was it, 6, 5, and then whoever just didn't have one was gone. Like, that's the worst. And Zach T says they need to make finding idols harder. They will never do that. They will never do that. Ever. They will never do that, unfortunately. But yeah, I like the expiration date. I don't think we'll get any that are going to be like, it has to be used this tribal again this season. We might get it has to be used within the next like 2 or 3, but I hope we'll get some more this season to give some interesting twists. And Annie says too many idols makes for a boring game. I agree. I like twists, and it might make me, it's kind of funny. In Big Brother, I don't like twists. In Survivor, I do. So sue me. Zach T says, like Kelly Wentworth had to work for hers during a challenge and under the bamboo bed. Yes, I agree. I did like those. I thought that was a really, really interesting way to do it. And they have gone kind of back and forth on those. But I think that they probably, I don't see them really going back to that, because the very next season, they went back to just you gotta find it like they didn't stick with it. If they had stuck to the find it at the challenge or find it, yeah. So I don't really think they're gonna stick with anything too crazy, unfortunately. Meg Foley says when she didn't use it, she should have to pass it like how she obtained it. Kind of like a legacy idol? That would be an interesting idea. That would be an interesting twist. But then eventually, like, everybody would, like, That would be an interesting idea. I kind of like that, Meg Foley. Yeah, because then you have to sit there and think, okay, do I, oh yeah, no, I like it. That would be an interesting twist. But I still kind of like the idea of holding on to it though for that fake idol. I think the fake idol play is going to be more drama, honestly. And there actually is going to be strategy within the fake idol, I think. Richard H says she should just hide it and let someone find it and try to use it. Yes. Yes. I agree. I agree completely. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Oh goodness. Yes. That's one of the best ways I think to play a fake idol. Let someone think that they have it. There have been people that have done that before, and no, Crystal B, they are not going to take it from her, because Jeff did an interview. I don't remember where exactly, but Jeff did an interview and did say that if she had used it, she would either use it or she would be able to keep it. So they were not going to take it from her. So yes, there's definitely lots of options. Now my one, yeah, Zach T says it would be like when Sarah tried, or when Sari tried to use, when Sari tried to use Sarah's advantage last year. Kind of. That's a little different because Sarah couldn't give away her advantage, whereas this would just be expired. Yeah. Yeah. Annie says Sari misunderstood the advantage. Yeah, that's exactly it. Sari didn't read the paper. Max's mom says cringeworthy moment that was. Yes. It definitely was. And I love Sari. I love Sari a lot. But, oh goodness. You gotta read those. You gotta read those advantages. Yeah. Other thing that I wanted to talk about was during the challenge, with the puzzles, the table maze puzzles. So the reason that the healers were able to come from behind and win, and that the heroes lost, even though the heroes were the first ones to pick a puzzle, Well, I'm just going to ask the chat room. Let's ask the chat room. So puzzle one is the super, like the traditional table maze with all of the like tricky ins and outs and all that crazy stuff. The 2 was the one with like the obstacles, the one that the hustlers did, and then table 3 was the straight shot. Which one would you have chosen? 1, 2, or 3? The traditional, the obstacle one, or the straight shot? Let's see. 2, 2, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3. Straight shot. Okay. So it's kind of split, but the majority is saying 3. One had, yeah, Crystal B. One had too many things to get around. Yeah. And Richard H. says the last part of a challenge will always be a puzzle to allow someone to catch up. Yes, that is correct. However, the thing that was different about this is that everybody got different puzzles, and depending on which place you came to the puzzle, you got to take your pick. So if you got to the puzzle first, you got to take your pick. So the heroes got to the puzzle first, and they chose the hardest one. Lori R. does have a good point. She says, I think 3 had a faster learning curve. However, with all of the, like, the traditional table mazes, with all the ins and outs and everything, it just is going to take a lot longer to do overall. It's not something that you can do quickly. I was just surprised that was the first one to get chosen. Yeah, I would have just chosen, I probably actually would have chosen the second one, the obstacle one, because I would have thought the straight shot are going to be nervous. Yeah, I probably would not have chosen the straight shot myself. But the obstacle one didn't seem too difficult. But that's just me. And I'm a shaky person, so I probably wouldn't have even been on the puzzle in my own case anyways. But because of the straight shot, that is actually why the healers, they were the last ones up the ladder and to actually even start doing it. Joe was super slow to get to the top. I don't know what took him so long. He was apparently, I don't know. I went back and watched it a couple of times. He was just slow. Apparently climbing is not his thing. I don't know. No idea. Because parole officers just don't have to climb ladders or something. But yeah, so because of that, even though they were the last ones up by quite a bit, they still were able to come from behind and win. But the heroes were the first ones to choose the puzzle. And they took forever. I was just shocked that they chose that puzzle. I don't know. The whole thing surprised me. But I guess that's kind of how challenges go. You never really know how they go. But it just proves the healers are kind of beasting out. Except for Joe, apparently. Joe is not a beast, which surprised me. Crystal B says, anyone think that Chrissy getting sick was strategy? Actually, no. Um, I did read on Reddit, I believe, that off camera she was actually like puking blood and didn't want the producers to see it. Uh, so it was not strategy by any means. Um, yeah. So she definitely was sick. It was the dehydration. She was not doing good. Yeah. And so it kind of makes a lot more sense now why Ryan gave her the super idol, because she obviously should have been the one who was targeted. I don't know why she wasn't targeted, but hey, they went after Katrina because Katrina was not a part of the alliance. So that's basically it. Sean L says, who's your favorite character this season? For like, I have a couple. I was gonna say, yeah, I have a couple. My early winner pick. I was gonna say I have a favorite character, and then I have a winner pick, and they're different. Because one's entertaining, and then one I just think has a good chance of winning. Thank you, Destiny. Yes, my favorite based on entertainment. I actually, even though we didn't see too much of them yet, I have a feeling that it's going to be that Simone is going to be a character. I loved her in all of her preseason interviews. Simone, we didn't see her at all basically in the episode. I think we saw her like on screen, but she didn't have any confessionals. Simone is yes, I know. Nobody knows who she is if you did not see any preseason stuff. Hold on one second. I will pull her up. Let me pull her up here for you guys. 1 second. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Hold on. Hold on. No, I can't. Hold on. But Simone is on the, what tribe is she on? She is actually on the Hustlers tribe, so she might be in trouble, but she is very feisty. And she gave some really interesting interviews preseason. Like she was no holds bar on like what she thought about anybody. Here, I'll just do this. She is she she is holding the flag here on the end. That's Simone right on the end. But yeah, she didn't have a single confessional. And so it's probably not going to bode well for her this season if they didn't even have her talk at all the entire episode. But Saint K8 says Ryan can win too. I think Ryan will probably get like a redemption player arc, possibly. He's kind of like the underdog. I've always had to work for everything in my life. Um, I think that yeah, I agree with Zulina. He was a bit over the top. I kind of see him flaming out a little bit early. Annie 0615 says the turtleneck wearing kid was interesting. Yep, that's Ryan. Maximus, Mom, you have high hopes for Ryan and Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike, we didn't even talk about Dr. Mike. Oh, Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike. He's going to be an interesting one that can either go one way or the other. Dr. Mike is the he's on the healer's tribe, obviously being a doctor. He got in a fight with Joe about hunting for idols. He's the urologist. Yes, I think that he's actually like a real big fan of Survivor. We have a lot of really big fans of Survivor on the season. Dr. Mike is actually really funny, and he likes to make jokes about himself. So I think it could be he either could be one of those people that gets on people's nerves on his tribe, or they're going to say, okay, goodbye, real quick. Yeah, he kind of does look like Steve Carell. I do see that. And yeah, very good call, Maximus, Mom. Lisa D. Ginger Snap says, we need a battle of the doctors. Dr. Will versus Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe? You mean Dr. Mike? I think Dr. Will would win in every instance. Every single instance. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think Dr. Mike is that schemy. He's way too nice. Way too nice. And plus, he couldn't even stay. Yes, Dr. Will is from Big Brother. He's kind of one of the legends of Big Brother. Zulina, you think Dr. Will is overrated? Some other people do think that as well. You are not alone. And let's see, who else do we have some other opinions on? Ben, Cowboy Ben. I'll be honest, I'm not feeling Ben. I think he's kind of, he can go. Sorry, Ben. Yeah. He seems like, as I had said before, I think he's got this kind of inflated sense of like his place in his heroes tribe. He's on the blue tribe. He's cowboy. He's part of the core four. Thinks that he is the swing vote with Alan, deciding the fate of everything. Yeah, Maximus' mom says, I don't like his mom comments, like he's better than them. Yes. I don't. He's a former, yes, Ben is the former Marine with the beard. That is correct. So I don't know. But I guess, also, yes, Annie says, oh, okay, I know who you mean. I don't like him at all. Yeah, seems like the chat room is pretty much in agreement. Sorry, Ben. Maybe you'll get better. If this is just episode 1, you know, I have been known to do a complete 180 on characters. Oh, also, just because I had said before, my winner pick is different. My winner pick might also kind of come as a surprise. My winner pick is actually yeah, is definitely going to come as a surprise as well. She's from the Healers tribe. My winner pick is Rourke Luskin. And she is the one who at the very beginning, during the fire challenge, she's the one that they lifted up to light the fire. Yes, she's my winner pick. She's a social worker. So I think that she's got a real good head on her shoulders, and she actually is a real big fan of Survivor, and like she's actually like a rap fan, Rob is podcast fan, All the Fixins fan. She knows a lot of Survivor. So, but she's not like nerdy about it. She's relatable about it. So it's different. So I think, yeah, that's why I picked her. But she didn't want people to pick her as their winner pick. So that too is why I'm picking her. Saint K88 says, do you think we're going to see voting blocks? Is the game going to evolve more? I don't know if I'm necessarily ascribed to the idea of voting blocks, I'll be honest. I think that voting blocks necessarily it just meant that people didn't really stick to their alliances. They felt no real loyalties. Therefore, it was all just kind of, I only care about me, so whatever. I think that, which honestly, in a game of Survivor, you should only care about yourself. So I'm all for that. I don't think you should be playing for an alliance anyways. But I do think that we probably will see more of that this season. But I think also with the way that the tribes are kind of broken up with this whole like healer, even though it's not being driven home hard by Jeff, I think that there will still be a little bit of a bond with some of these people from their initial starting. Whenever people are broken up by like characteristics, they tend to stick to them more or less. Yeah, I think that this, especially because this is instead of being about their inner like how they see themselves, it's about how the world sees them. So it's a little bit different. I think it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens with it all. I think it's going to be a good season though overall. Destiny says, how long till they mix up the tribes? Usually with a 18-person season, we'll probably get a tribe swap. Once they get down to 15, we might get a swap around to 3 more, or they could go, I don't think they'll go to 2 tribes at 16. They might swap it. They might swap it at 15. It's very possible. Saint K8 says 4 tribes make it crazy. I don't think we're gonna get 4 tribes. I would be shocked. I think that would be teased if we got 4 tribes. We probably would have heard about that at this point. Maxwell's mom says maybe at 12. Yeah, see, but the only issue with that is, hypothetically, if one tribe were to lose, or are you talking about going to, yeah, that's too close to the merge to do a swap. I think it's got to be 15 is when they'll do a swap. I could see 15. Yeah, if one tribe keeps losing, it will happen sooner than later, says Zulina. That is correct. One thing about Survivor is it's all up to the producers. They can change it whenever they want. So if they want to have it swap sooner, they can do a swap sooner. If they want to go to 2 tribes, they can go to 2 tribes. If they want to go to 3 tribes, they can go to 3 tribes. They could do it at 16, 15, 14, whatever. They did have the tribe that got down to 1 person. And I don't think we'll ever see that ever again. Ever. I think that was just a, hey, let's have this happen so it never has to happen ever again. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see that happen ever again. Awesome. Sure. Yeah, it was surprising. It was it was something. Yeah, exactly. Poor Stephanie, says Sean L. Yeah, no, I don't foresee them ever doing that again. It was just a steamroll of a season, and nobody really likes that. And in any reality show, nobody likes a steamroll. So, I guess, does anybody have any final thoughts before we wrap it up? Sean L says, which season had your least favorite twist? Pearl Islands? No. The season that had my least favorite twist. No. It's honestly, my least favorite twist would be, I'm not a fan of any of the Redemption Island stuff, personally. I think once you're out of Survivor, you're out. I don't like the battling to get back in. But yeah. Sean L says, I thought it was a decent concept, but it didn't work well. I agree. But I think yeah, in concept it's okay, but in practice not so much. It just doesn't make for an enjoyable season. It's too hard to follow along with. I don't know that it made me fall in love with Matt. I don't know about that. So I guess did everybody in the chat room, what is your overall feelings on the premiere episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Before we wrap it up here. Overall, I thought it was a pretty decent episode. I enjoyed it. But I'm excited for next week because I think next week we'll get into we'll get to see more characters. It won't be quite as rushed. Crystal B says I enjoyed it. Sean L says it was pretty good. Hopefully more will happen. Annie0615 says I liked it. Diane BB Feeds fan says enjoyed it. Feel like we're gonna have a good season. Saint K88 says great first session. Thank you. Zulina says it was fine. Sharon, I liked it. Maria BB Updater. The dudes are targeting the women again. Sigh. On some of the tribes. Not all of them. Destiny's, I thought it was average. Didn't get me excited for the season. Interesting. Zulina, Alan made it fine. Zach T says, I liked the premiere. It seems like a good cast. That I can't agree with you, Zach. I do think it's a good cast. I always do appreciate it when it is a new cast. It's always fun to see new people. I love a good returnee season because they play hard, they play fast from the get-go. But it's good to see newbies. We need some new blood every once in a while too. So I definitely do appreciate it. So overall, I'm looking forward to the season. I think it'll be good. And Saint K88 says, better have some crazy twists and idols. I think we're going to get there. I do know that Jeff has said that it is an amazing finale. So we've got that to look forward to, but I don't know what that means until then. So I guess we'll find out. And so I guess thank you all for hanging out with me to discuss this premiere episode of Survivor Triple H. And don't forget that you can always catch this full episode back tomorrow on our website at yourrealityrecaps.com/survivor, along with our Survivor vlogs and all of our Survivor coverage that we've ever done at yourrealityrecaps.com/survivor. And thank you all for coming and chatting with me, and I hope you all have a good night. Bye.